because everybody's on this constant quest for offensive linemen and developing offensive linemen. And I mean, you brought up the Super Bowl. We just saw what happened in the Super Bowl, for crying out loud.
Back for a third season. We've been picked up for another season. The John Schneider Show.
Just like yesterday.
How about it?
How you guys doing?
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, you too.
Third year?
Third year. I can't believe we're doing
the
this.
Show.
Yeah, let's do it.
Fantastic.
You still look great.
I don't think we finalized the contract, though, have we? I don't know, that one didn't come across my desk.
We're still working on terms.
You're playing for free right now.
Okay.
Sorry.
He's ironing out his demands.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, good to see you guys.
hey, how much do you take any time? What do you get as far as just away from football? Season ends.
Yeah, I've been on vacation since the season ended. Just taking
paying
time.
attention to
Yeah,
nothing.
just trying to
Drinking
find
daiquiris.
myself. Yeah, just trying to find myself.
Toes in the sand.
We took a couple days. Trace and I took a couple days right after that first week, and then then we just got right back after it. All the stuff with the offensive coordinators hire with Clint and everything was awesome, and then free agency meetings, and we just go. We just keep going. It's not like half of June. Like I say, half of June, first 2 weeks in July is like, okay, let's try to go. Go see family, go see, do the vacation stuff,
Yeah.
So my niece is getting married in Italy this summer. So,
Oh, wow.
So you're going?
Yeah, we're going to go over there. And I think it's July 10th or something like that. So
Cool.
Yeah, looking forward to that. But yeah, it doesn't stop. We got the guys in here now. We started draft meetings this week. So it's awesome.
Yeah. Tell us about the new coaches as far as, how the interviews went, and you and Mike obviously in on that,
Yeah.
but just in
Yeah,
are
really,
you having
so-
them one-on-one, or
Yeah, so really impressed with Mike's interview process. Leslie was really involved as well. All the coordinators, AD and Jay, but kind of similar to the head coaching thing. Some Zooms, and then which are always kind of awkward, but it's like a nice initial. Get to know you a little bit, and then flying the guys in and spending time with them and figuring out, who they are. But just really, really impressed with Mike's the brain still. Everything that I told you guys last year. Wow, the brain's really cool. Really clear, really intelligent, and knows exactly what he wants. So the questions are right to the point, and real direct. So it was really cool. You always learn a lot, when you're interviewing these people. You learn a lot about it's fun because there's a lot of respect for the Seahawks organization around the league, which is awesome because we have so many great people in this building. So to be able to not try to have some of the names get out there in the public and try to go through the process and like I said being able to talk to these guys and learn about what their vision is for their system. And with Clint, it was just really it was really clear what his system was.
Was it pretty clear right away he was the guy? Because we're on the outside, we're looking at it, and at least publicly, we knew you'd spoken with him twice,
right?
You'd spoken with Udinsky twice and Fraley twice, and then there was just kind of a dead period where we didn't hear much.
Yeah,
and then Fraley goes back to Detroit, and remember we're talking. I'm going, man, this seems really deliberate. I hope they don't lose their guy. And
yeah, no, it was deliberate. Mike did a great job of really thinking through his process. It's a very important hire. Last year Mike was the second to last hire. So, quite honestly, the pool's just different at that time, right? So you don't have the same number of coaches that are available, and so to be able to walk into this process at the time we did, at the end of the season, and knowing exactly what he was looking for, but then talking to the different people and trying to envision. What his work day is going to look like, what the philosophy is, and who they want to hire on their staff, all that kind of stuff. So it's a process, and I was just really impressed with his ability to know exactly what he wanted.
Yeah. So how specific do these meetings get? I mean, you guys putting on film or, because it seems like this year it kind of brought to the forefront how important coaching is, that coaches are able to unlock certain players like Sam Darnold.
Sure.
Yeah. So how specific are you getting when you're talking to an offensive coordinator?
Well, the parts that I'm involved with are pretty fun, right? Because so when the film comes on and they start talking situational football, I feel like they're speaking French,
another
or
language.
I'm kind of like, okay, this is the time where I exit stage left.
Okay.
No, there's all kinds. There's several different parts to it, but really, just watching. My role is just kind of like watching everybody interact and just seeing how things flow, and then just giving Mike those questions that everybody on our hiring group last year did, with me through the process when we hired Mike. It's like, okay, well, we noticed this, we noticed that. How do you feel about this category, that category? Could you envision yourself working with us? All those questions you just kind of keep just there to bounce ideas off of and, be as much of a support as possible.
Do you guys get into the details of individual players that may be becoming free agents? Like, hey, what do you think of this tight end? Could you work with? Does he fit with your system,
absolutely.
Or does this running back fit with what you want to do, or he doesn't fit?
Yeah, absolutely. They walk through everything. They're trying to, they want to be here. It's kind of cool, And the guys they have a vision for what they want. They lay it out for Mike. He bounces questions off of them. Leslie, Jay, AD, everybody's just kind of bouncing questions. I'll get the personnel questions a lot, right? Like, how long is this guy here? That sort of stuff. So. But it's fun. It's a really fun process. I mean, it really is. It really was. I mean, we love Grubber and all that, but it was like, this was a clear, okay, now we're gonna make a shift. Here we go, and onward we move.
Yeah, it was pretty cool last year, really. I mean, I know it was a tough stretch there because you had Connor Williams retire, and then, the trade one linebacker cut the other guy, and then you brought in Ernest Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was pretty clear you weren't going to sit on your hands and wait till the offseason to fix things,
never,
right? I mean,
never,
it happened kind of quickly. And,
yeah.
I mean, look, we were talking about this. You don't want to take anything away from Big Cat or, they all made plays and everything.
Right.
But that's kind of when the defense turned around. It was pretty amazing to watch that.
Yeah, Ernest did a great job. It was a great addition at that time. There's a lot of lessons in there. You're trying to learn a new staff. So last year everybody's coming together. Free agency's right in the midst of everything. So learning a new scheme, learning a new staff, learning the teachers. So we're like on this constant quest to have this amazing marriage with, coaching, player development. Acquisition, sports science, like how can we meld all these things together? And you're learning new people. So, you're trying to, okay, yes, obviously we have to address the linebacker position. Fit, we're all kind of working together for the first time. So there's a little bit of a learning curve that goes in there with a first time head coach. And Ernest was a great addition. First year head coach, sorry, but and you're together with a whole new staff, right? So, but Ernest was a great acquisition at that time because he's just this, strong, like natural leader, and then obviously he's instinctive. We can go through all the physical stuff, right? Yeah. But just a really good player.
How do you attack the cap? Because we look at all these websites, and I know they don't have the exact numbers, but they all have the Seahawks being one of, I think, 5 or 7 teams that are over the cap.
Doomsday, yes.
By some margin.
Yeah.
And I know you just redid Leonard's contract,
right.
And I would imagine there's still more work to do. But in a season like this where you're projected to be X amount of dollars, whatever that number is, how much more intense is it for you to have a list on the wall going, okay, this is a restructure, this will be called a bonus, this is an extension? Do you have
Joey Lane is working with us now. Matt Thomas is retired and living over in Spokane, and so we hired Joey Lane. So Joey Lane and Joey Schneider were working. All three of us really worked together on trying to map out what the landscape's going to look like, and so there's we have a big screen, category by position, what everybody's contracts look like. This is what it's basically basically a huge puzzle, right?
Right.
And then whatever you're going to do at what position is going to affect another position on the team. So you're and we want to be a team that's going to be able to acquire people all throughout the year, until the trade deadline. We don't want to be, we don't want to be like just backed up against the wall.
Right.
And, we want to keep our powder dry, like Ted Thompson used to say, right?
Yeah.
So, God bless his soul. But we want to be able to, have enough room and enough cash to be able to do, the things we want to do, to be able to address whatever's going on, what we perceive as a deficiency, as we get closer to the trade deadline. So you're constantly moving these. It sounds cold. I understand that, but you're constantly moving these pieces around, trying to figure out what you can do to a certain contract, or is this guy a trade candidate, or is he is he going to be a cap casualty, or and it's unfortunately, we've talked about this every year. You have to make tough decisions to keep moving forward.
Is there a priority in that? Hey, this guy we have under contract. Yeah, we need to do something with his deal, but he's under contract, like Gino or DK. Versus, hey, Ernest Jones is a free agent. Is there a priority based on their status in which one you attack first?
Yes.
All right.
Yep, there is. That I can't share with you. It's like, asking an offensive coordinator what the first 15 of the script is, So, no,
right.
Yeah, there's definitely a priority.
Okay.
And, you work that out through, the early stages of free agency. Obviously we want Ernest back. We've talked to his guys. We've had great communication with them, and we're hoping we're able to accomplish that. Some guys, at some point you can get too close to the end of the season where they want to see what free agency looks like. So now they can go out and see what their market is, and understandably so.
Hey, I always kind of take something away from every Super Bowl, and it seems like there's a trend and everybody wants to copy. Oh, well, they did it this way. That's how they won. But anything like that? What stood out to you as far as how the season ended up with the Eagles winning?
It was a really boring football game, probably like our Denver, Super Bowl. And people were like, well, it was a boring game. And people in Philly are like, that was a great game.
Yeah, exactly. They were the only ones.
No, obviously, fast defense, playing sound defense, running the football, shooting explosives when you can. But protecting the ball, playing great defense, that wins championships. Yeah. That really was like, Philly did a great job. Their defensive line depth is really impressive, and Coach Fangio does a great job with those guys too. So, it was just, you could just see Patrick. It was rough, like just right from the get go.
Yeah. Has your philosophy morphed at all now that you're the guy in charge of everything? You're working with the new coach. Last year was the first year. Has anything changed in the way you approach? This is how we're going to draft, or this is how we're going to prioritize this position. Has anything changed in that, or is it still?
Great question. Philosophically, no, but process-wise, yes. I would say, how do we streamline our decision making, and how can we be more efficient? How can we help out the players as much as we possibly can in player development? Like, what kind of tools can we give them to help them improve? So, but philosophically. No, not really. We know exactly what our deficiencies are. It's, we can all see it, right? Mm-hmm. And we're like, we have a plan to address everything. Part of the acquisition part also is like, okay, what's the buy-in then with everybody so you can develop guys? You have to be a strong developmental team. When you get back to Philly, they've done a great job. Their offensive line coach is a really good coach, been there for a long time, and they've done a really nice job. Getting player acquisition and developing there, and that's what we need to improve on. We need to improve our ability to identify and develop, because it's like it's 50% both ways, and you have to be able to develop these guys. So, yeah, the philosophical part is really like running the ball. How do we run the ball? How do we play super fast here at the coolest stadium in the National Football League, where guys can just get ripping off the ball? That stuff is all stayed the same.
Tell us about, you were on vacation. You weren't doing anything. There's nothing going on, right? Senior Bowl being one of them. Tell us about that. I know you spent some time down in still Mobile.
Yeah, we brought Mike with us. I'm not sure he's going to go again. I'm like, you sure you want to go, man? You're going to get bombarded by people down there. He's like, no, I really want to go and see the players and stuff. And
did he get
sure enough, we got down there and he got bombarded. He's signing helmets and stuff outside the stadium. People coming up to him asking him for jobs and everything. So, no, it was great having him down there, though. And it's always I didn't go last year, because that was the week we ended up hiring Mike. So it was great to get back down there, and Jim Denagi does a great job of running that thing, and it was great to get back with the scouts, like all of our guys, being around our guys, being able to talk. We've been together so long now, we're able to kind of speak the same language.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool to be around our guys, and
So that's the first time in a long time that you guys all got together.
Yeah. Well, yeah, since, like training camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I take it back. We flew them in. They came in one weekend where we wanted them to be around the team, so they came in for I think it was Arizona game at home, and we were able to kind of like go out and have a cool team bonding night with all the guys and their wives. But yeah, it's cool getting down there and seeing the players in person, and then seeing so a lot of these guys I haven't seen in person. Some of the smaller school guys and guys that I wasn't necessarily paying attention to, early on that have really risen through the process. And then, to not to come back here and have the guys back in the building this week is so exciting because, I'm just so impressed with all of our scouts, all the knowledge, all the stuff they have, especially with, all the trade portal stuff and guys leaving. And guys making money in NIL now, and okay, well, they know how much money these guys have made, and you're able to talk to if you coached at Oregon and you coached at Ohio State, you're able to talk to both those staffs about these guys. You know what I mean? So you kind of have a really clearer picture on these guys than we have in the past. Sometimes to our detriment from the decision making process, but it's just awesome to be around all these guys, and I'm just so proud of all especially the young guys too. They're just so knowledgeable and on top of it. And we're just listening to Jack Green was just up there presenting, and he did an internship with us last year, and now he's full time and he did a great job. He just crushed his presentation, so it was really fun.
Isn't it amazing? You may bring in a kid who's going to take a pay cut to play in the NFL.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I'm not. On top of it, as much as these guys are, you don't really know. You read stuff on the internet,
right.
Or people, the agent world to kind of give you, a glimpse of what some of these guys are making. But it's really, hopefully they get things under control a little bit this spring when they finally, the NCAA's whatever they're going to do in the spring. But it is amazing to think about because you can tell how much a guy, how much he loves football, right? And all right, he's already got $3 million in his pocket, and the way they spend it too, which is interesting. So they were just talking about, dang, I can't tell you. Shoot, sorry, I just let it rip. And they're just talking about a guy that gave a ton of money back, in North Carolina for the devastation that happened there.
And Derek Hall did that, remember?
Yeah, Derek did. Yeah, the Wallers and yeah, exactly. But really cool, how they spend their money, and is it flashy or how much or they turned out, they stayed at a school, they could have made another $1 million here, but they stayed loyal to the coaches, and it tells you a lot about the guys.
That's really interesting because I thought it would have an adverse effect on, because if you gave me $1 million when I was 20 years old, I was an idiot. But I mean,
right there with you, pal.
Yeah.
What do you mean was?
Come on, Bob. Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
You're 20 years old and somebody gives you,
Yeah, so you're able to tell.
$2 million.
And so instead of it being a negative, it's a positive as far as your evaluation goes.
Sure.
Because now, like you said, you know exactly how much they love football or how much they love money.
Or they turn it down, or they don't, they're sitting out, right? They're not, guys, lateral ankle sprain, not a high ankle sprain, and he missed 4 weeks with it instead of a week. You know what I mean? It's it's just like a whole, it tells you a whole story, really. And it's kind of, at first I was thinking, I do, believe that guys should get paid, to a certain extent. So, but it's just the difference in the spending between the schools. It's just what blows my mind when I'm listening to, all of our guys talk about their backgrounds.
Yeah. Well, even non-traditional football schools like Duke, I was showing these guys, I saw something on the screen that their quarterback they brought over has an $8 million NIL deal at Duke for football. Unbelievable.
I know.
Isn't it a basketball school?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. They've had some success there. Hey, are there position groups you think are better addressed free agency versus draft and vice versa? Hey, if I'm looking for a wide receiver, it's better we go this route because we're looking at O-line. Everybody looks at the O-line and goes,
sure.
That's a problem. Is that something you think is better addressed with a guy that's got experience under his belt, that's a free agent versus, well, let's draft and develop this guy and hopefully they're going to be good in a year or two?
Great question. I think I would say it changes every year by position except for the offensive line.
Okay.
Because everybody's on this constant quest for, offensive linemen and developing offensive linemen. And I mean, you brought up the Super Bowl. We just saw what happened in the Super Bowl, for crying out loud. I mean, like they're playing for a world championship, and things didn't go well. So every team, everybody you talk to, it's kind of like, and so I would say yes to answer your question. Every position changes every year based on depth, but the offensive line there's always like this dearth of talent at the position. So supply and demand, right? So but there's everybody's when you talk to other teams, when you talk to other GMs about trades and stuff like that, or our guys upstairs talking to other teams, everybody kind of like skips the offensive line because it's like just a given. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everybody's looking for him. You know what I mean? So, So, but it shifts. Some years there'll be better runners, some years better corners, some years there's better receivers, and it just depends. And you're putting, your team. We can't do anything unless we know exactly what our team looks like, and then B, free agency, and then in free agency it's also cap casualty guys too that we're projecting that may be released. And then obviously the draft is the biggest portion.
My dad always says
free agency is not like, you can't just throw money at something to fix it or to fix a perceived need. That's we've made mistakes there in the past, and we're not going to repeat. We're going to try not to repeat the mistakes we've made.
Yeah, and so this draft looks like it has lots of, somebody called it a meat and potatoes draft, like offensive line, defensive line, more so. Do you see like the trend as far as offensive line goes, maybe starting to shift? My dad always says it's got to get worse before it gets better, so might as well hurry up and get worse. But are we at that point?
No, because to you guys' point, like the defensive linemen are making $8 million a year for their NILs. I'm being sarcastic. $8 million, right? But they're making whatever $3 million, and offensive linemen are making 200 or something. You know what I mean? It's just a big.
Wow.
There's not a lot of offensive linemen. They're doing sack dances,
Right. They're not
like,
You're not doing pass sets in the backyard.
Right. Yeah, on TV, on commercials and stuff, right? So, but that's, the defensive line guys are always like every year you could just, like we're doing edge rushers today. And, we've been going since, early this morning and there's a lot of edge rushers, but it's kind of like, what's your flavor ice cream? Like, what do you want? You want the short arm leverage? You want the guy with the power? You want like speed off the edge? It gets knocked around. Like, what do you want? And then that's how we're kind of, that's what we're sorting through right now. But there's every year it changes. There's like the depth level changes at every position.
Gotcha.
Episode 1 in the books. It went that fast. Can you believe it?
That was awesome.
How'd you feel? It went good,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah,
you guys are amazing.
By the way, Dave says you gave us a hint last year somehow as to what you were going to do in the draft, and I maintain you didn't. Did you give us a hint?
Well, you told me that, but I didn't ever come close to the hint. I didn't.
Yeah. I'd have to go back. I'd have to go back. And
it was well done.
I'd have to go back and listen, but there was I don't know if you guys still have them.
I'd love to know what it was.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head right now.
People are going to text and go, why didn't you ask him who he's going to draft?
Right now?
Yeah.
We'll save that for later.
Sure. We got plenty of time, fellas.
Yeah, 10 more episodes. Right. We're off to a good start, man.
Okay.
It's good to be back
Great
with you. There you go. Dave's already done with you.
Yeah.
Right.
See you later.